Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast, late night edition on a Friday before your kids and teachers get a week off for Thanksgiving. I'm your host, JC. Joining me this week is Tommy.
Yo.
And of course, we got Mike.
What's up, guys? I'm Big Mike, and it is 2022. It's that late. Electric Boogaloo. And the train is decelerating. Put on your Wizarding robes. We are pulling into Hogsmeade Station. The train is almost done.
You know what's funny? I almost didn't know where you were going with that, but that was nice. Good job.
Well, I had it going, and then I couldn't say 2022.
But to be fair, that's only like the second or third time you've got that wrong. I don't think you really.
I've never not said it right.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's on vacation right now, all right?
Yeah,
9 days, not having to worry about teaching.
I was on vacation about 6 hours ago.
And you have my respect, sir. Salute.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, if you are watching us live. I know yesterday was just kind of a crazy day, so it's like, you know what? Let's push this back a day because we wanted to see what else potentially could get added to with Rampage, because we're going to be talking Full Gear today. And hence, yes, we got a new logo, guys. Finally wanted to pick a good show to debut it. Here it is.
It's so shiny.
It is pretty nice. So working on getting this onto potentially some t-shirts as well. But pretty nice looking. So and then it's going to be here popping right up next to me. See it right there?
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
we're high tech.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of,
Today, as I mentioned, we're going to talk AEW Full Gear, and before that, we will quickly recap Impact OverDrive, an Impact Plus event that just took place, just wrapped up.
Yeah.
Got a new X Division champion on it because that title was vacant. Sorry, vacant.
Yes.
Couldn't win that one. Mickie James lives to fight another day, but then her next challenger emerges, and what gets set up for the world title picture. So let's before we get into that, was there any wrestling news this week, guys? Anything you ever think of?
I mean, I don't know if there's any major wrestling news. I think after last night, it wasn't a full. There was potential news that KO had injured himself at a house show. I don't know if it was a real and it just wasn't that bad, or it was kind of kayfabe to set up tonight. Because apparently he showed up as the fifth member of the Brawling Brutes.
Yeah,
McIntyre team.
Yeah.
He looked fine. I saw some clips on Twitter. While Twitter is still a thing.
Right.
Must not be that serious. If you are watching us live, feel free to comment, live chat along with us. We're gonna be making some predictions later. I did see that clip of him. Saw another clip where Sammy got Jey Uso to laugh or to break character almost with the little handshake he was doing with Jimmy Uso.
Man, dude, Sami Zayn is gonna go down as one of the funniest wrestlers, if nothing else. He's not only good, but it's like after that freaking Uzi thing, it's like, what can't this man do? You know what?
Yeah.
And I mean this in the most respectful way I can, without trying to say like he is this guy. He reminds me a lot of Eddie Guerrero in that way. He can wrestle any style, but then at the same time, he's probably the guy that keeps everybody smiling all the time. It's like, it's like, man, I'll never forget when Jay had to turn his face away from the camera because he couldn't hold it anymore. And Roman, no, stay right here.
Well, they kind of had to do that on that clip, and it's lucky that Sammy was kind of in the way of the camera shot, because when he turned his face, he kind of got blocked until Sammy pulled back. But That's like
It's-
the third, fourth time recently that Jay's done that. Like,
Yeah.
trying to keep his straight face.
It's one of those things where I don't think you can teach that. You just have it or you don't, because he's
Yeah.
just so naturally funny. It's like I know a lot of guys would want to be like him to be able to like just carry segments like that. I don't know if anyone else could do it like he does.
Yeah.
You know?
No, for sure. Nothing else too major really to discuss, right? It's kind of weird.
I'll just.
Well, a lot of the news is leading into Full Gear too, so we'll talk
Yeah,
about it.
but nothing like behind the scenes or anything like that. Yeah.
I mean, CM Punk showed up at some minor league, like UFC type
MMA, yeah, MMA
thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some other things that happened, but again, it's kind of connected into Full Gear, so we'll talk about that as it goes. I don't think there's anything major.
All right.
No big breaking news.
Well, with that, let's jump into how what happened at Impact OverDrive, guys. This was an Impact Plus.
We all know exactly what happened, but why don't you tell us first?
Impact OverDrive, an Impact Plus event that just wrapped up right now, and if you can actually still go back and watch this on Impact Plus. Just some quick results here. Rich Swann won a 6-way match. Motor City Machine Guns defeated the Bullet Club to become the #1 contenders for the Impact World Tag Team Championships.
Nice.
And those were the 2 pre-show matches. Bully Ray defeated Moose in a tables match. The Death Dolls, defeated Savannah Evans and Tasha Steeles to retain.
But the Death Dolls won, so that's good.
They retain the top Knockouts Tag Team Championships. Mickey James defeats Taylor Wilde, so she still got a wrestling career, but was confronted afterward by Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh man, that's gonna be a dream. I know they've had it before, but I don't care. Wrestle all the time. I care.
Mixed emotions there.
Yeah, very.
Heath and Rhino retained the tag team championship over the major players, so they will be defending next against the Motor City Machine Guns.
I don't know if it's news per se, but if we want to talk about rumors now that you mentioned that, there is a lot of noise on wrestling Twitter and social media of Cardona and Chelsea Green coming back to WWE. So, I mean, it's not news per se because it's not confirmed by any means. But that rumor has kind of been running the rampant this past week as well.
Especially, I think there was a promo last Thursday where Chelsea's like said she was going home or like she was leaving. So I mean that's
that's right. Yeah, she left she left. So,
so that's potential.
Yeah.
Tournament final to crown a new X Division champion, and Trey Miguel defeated Black Taurus to win. So Trey Miguel is your new X Division champion. Jordan Grace
because he cheated in that match.
Jordan Grace, in a match I want to go back and watch, defeated Masha Slamovich in a last knockout standing match.
Masha Slamovich is so cool, man. She's so awesome.
That just sounds like it hurts.
Yeah, like for real.
And Josh Alexander defeated Frankie Kazarian. This was Kazarian's option C cash in to retain the Impact World Championship. But
good job, Austin Theory.
But Alexander was attacked by Bully Ray after the match.
Oh god!
Well, I mean that was kind of set up. Bully Ray was looking to see who was going to win this because it's looking like he's going to be challenging him at Hard to Kill, which I believe is going to be in January. Is the usual time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yep. So
if Bully Ray beats him,
I'll be pissed.
If Bully Ray beats him. This is going on Hogan Bischoff entering Impact levels of bullcrap.
Look, I want to think that Bully Ray's smart enough to say, no, I shouldn't go over here. But what he's going to do really is help promote this. They're going to make this a big match. He knows how to put a guy over at this stage. I would think so, right? And I think this is, let's think Bully Ray is a singles match in the history of Impact Wrestling is pretty huge, we were there when he won the title.
Not all of us. I wasn't there.
At Alamo Dome, were you there for lockdown?
No,
you were. Okay. Well, being there, the whole aces and eights thing, where that took off. We know that story, but just
if only they could have made it go somewhere.
I know, right? But still, that was kind of really what elevated him as a top singles guy,
right? But that was also when the Spurs were still winning titles. So
Wow.
It's been a while. Just
Wow.
My
wow.
point is he's still, that big top heel in independent wrestling and Impact Wrestling. It's a good chance for him to elevate Josh Alexander and put him over here. So
I
that's
hope
what I say.
so.
Yeah, yes, if he wins, there's going to be a lot of fan backlash, I'm pretty sure. Very
It's
sure.
gonna be a
there will
lot of Mike backlash if he wins.
Yeah. So Mike will be speaking for the people.
I mean,
I'm
there's going to be a lot of WrestleMania backlash.
Oh, please never do that again.
It's late,
Anyway,
man, and I'm tired too. So there's
Fair
no
enough.
telling what I'm going to say. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. But I'm very mixed emotions about it because I feel like no matter what you do to Josh Alexander, he's cemented himself no matter what at this point. I want to see him lose it to someone else who's a bigger threat. I am personally a little heartbroken Kazarian didn't win, only because I've been a Kazarian fan since I started watching TNA back in 04, 05.
Mhm.
So, I'm very impartial to old school TNA. It helped get me back into wrestling, so I can't say that I'm not sad about that. But at the same time, if it's not someone, who I want, who I really want to beat Josh is either Sami Callihan or Steve Maclin. Because they've been pushing Steve Maclin like crazy, considering the obscurity he was left in NXT. And Sami Callihan is just Sami Callihan. So, never mind the fact that he's married to my alternate reality ex-wife. The fact of remains is like, I just
Yes,
yeah. Well, see, I just like Sami Callihan because congratulations. I like every time I meet him, it's like he's not I know how you say, oh, they're not the person they're, but he's just such a legitimately nice dude who cares about the fans. Like he'll talk with fans, interact with fans, and he's a guy who I feel like he's kind of like Raven. Like he doesn't need the world title to be over, to be the most epic thing that walks into a wrestling ring, but it would be nice to see him win it.
Wait, this is how tired I am. You're talking about Sammy still, right?
Sami Callihan, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you would start talking about Steve Maclin. That's
no, no, but well.
Good night, guys. Great show.
Yeah.
Oh man,
no, but to go to Steve Maclin, he's just really good at wrestling.
Right.
And
no,
like,
he's got.
And he's proven
that's why.
Yeah. But and I could see him being that kind of over character. He's just slowly building himself up to that. And I just think
if there's anyone, I would agree. I could see him. I wouldn't mind Sammy either, honestly. For some
I wouldn't mind Moose doing it again just because that was funny the first time.
I mean, it'd be kind of different. Like, I don't know if you could recreate. You could try. But I don't know if you could recreate that because that was just like it kind of came out of nowhere, and you were like,
I mean, just
how dare
you? The disrespect of that moment to this day is still amazing to me. I remember just when we were watching, it's like I was like the absolute total lack of respect that I am witnessing here is just amazing.
Still surprised that kid never got speared.
I kind of am too. I feel like they're waiting for his 18th birthday.
I was about to say,
maybe like
it's gonna come full circle. It's
not even gonna wait
come
till
full
his
circle.
18th.
It's gonna come full circle. Some
till he's -1 age, and then
hey, what if he tries to give a retirement speech like Mark Henry did, and just spears Josh Alexander and his son, and is like, I ain't going nowhere.
That would be classic.
As long as it's not what Moose is remembered for most. At some point, he needs to win the championship and hold it for a good while. So it's.
No, I think he's gonna remember most for his athletic ability because it is legitimately good. Like I feel like that's just gonna be one of the moments everyone points at as that. But you know what? I kind of feel like he doesn't care. I kind of feel like it's like, yeah, that was so evil. Please remember that. That was great. I did awesome.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, if you can make moments, no matter whether they're making you look good or not.
Yeah, I feel like he probably just enjoyed the hell out of that. He's probably like, dude, I made a kid cry over his dad in front of live TV. That's awesome.
All right, well, that's Impact OverDrive. Do check it out. I plan to on Impact Plus, especially for that last knockout standing. I definitely want to see that. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
Let's get into Full Gear, guys. It's that
Full
weekend,
Gear.
one of the 4 major pay-per-views on the AEW schedule.
Yep.
And this one has been much anticipated. It's going to be awesome from the looks of it, from everything we've seen, all the build-up on it.
Before we start, sorry. I was gonna ask, can we appreciate the job AEW has done of absolutely cleaning up that mess from All Out? I mean, I know it's the scars are still there, But to completely make people like not talk about it anymore with the build of all the other matches, you gotta give them all credit for that, man, because that's amazing
For sure.
turnaround job. Because wrestling fans do not forget.
Calm down there, MGF. We hear you talking up Tony Khan.
I can't believe I respect that man now. What is happening this year?
I have less
don't
respect.
worry.
Don't become a good guy. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, he's right though. You know, because people could have just latched on to what
No,
happened.
yeah.
They pushed it, addressed it, and just moved on.
Yeah,
And that's
like
that's pretty
immediately.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well,
for sure.
yeah, some trolls wanted to and have tried to, but no, you're right. Like
Yeah.
they moved on. They didn't dwell on it. And there was, it's strange because we've heard of locker room altercations a bunch. I mean, there was Bret Hart punching Vince McMahon after the screw job.
Which was
There was
awesome.
stuff between Bret and Vince way back. Bret and Shawn back in the '90s, where they apparently had altercations backstage, and suppose that was some of the stuff that led to Shawn like vacating the title and losing his smile, stuff like that, because he didn't want to put him over.
Right.
But I've never heard of one that literally got into legal stuff, and apparently because one of AEW's legal people was like round backstage, it turned into a full legal issue, and
Yeah.
which was kind of odd. But so that's another reason he hasn't. Tony Khan at least hasn't really been able to talk about a bunch of stuff. So,
I mean, but still,
and we can kind of talk about this too when we get to the matches. But I think there's also a group of people that you got to give credit for stepping up and helping them get out of there, like Moxley, Jericho. Honestly, both Blackpool Combat Club and the JAS with their feud has really helped kind of push things out there. The Acclaimed,
I was going to say the Acclaimed. Give MJF his credit because he still had that whole devil thing going on. And
by the time he got back, yeah.
And I gotta give Death Triangle their credit too, because they made those trios titles really matter in a short amount of time, considering that was kind of, there's kind of there's kind of a stain on that title win. But considering the matches they've had since then, those belts are looking pretty important.
Oh yeah. And so it's a really interesting little storyline they have within Death Triangle. I guess we talk about that too, but of Penta and Phoenix just wanting to wrestle and win, and Pac being obsessed with like cheating with the hammer and so
like
interesting stuff.
Well, because I love that these factions have guys that come out of the face and heel tunnels. Like that just makes me laugh all the time. It's like that's hilarious to me.
Yeah, it's really just this era where okay, next man up, who's going to step up. This reminds me a lot of Monday Night Wars, Raw, Raw, SmackDown, WWE. Who were the next stars they were going to build up, and who you're trying to compete for a spot, and a window opened up, and people have stepped up, and I think that's kind of been the beauty of AEW, having that young talent that's motivated. Wanting to get up there, get their TV time, get their time in the spotlight.
Orange Cassidy with the All Atlantic belt to me needs an honorable mention too, because his match with Shibata. Now I know a lot of fans were mad Shibata didn't win, because I was like, guys, I can't get the old Shibata back. There's a reason he had to stop wrestling for like 7 years. Okay, let's just be happy he's healthy. But still, we got a Shibata match 1-on-1 with Orange Cassidy, which was loads of fun, and Cassidy held his own. So,
Yep. And as this gets closer, I'm just like really more and more looking forward to when we go to Dynamite on December 21st.
For sure.
Excited. So, all right, well, let's get into the matches here that are on the card. There's 12 in total, 10 that we're going to pick, 2 that are going to be on the Full Gear 0 hour buy-in pre-show, if you will. One of which is just announced at Rampage, a 10-man tag team match, which is going to feature the Best Friends and Rocky Romero and I'm quoting here, a very mysterious, very evil partner.
Oh dear God!
I don't know who this
Factory.
could be.
So,
wonder if it's Miro.
Yeah,
I is it weird? I kind of want to give the Factory credit for being one of the best jobber factions of all time. I mean, I love it when they show up. Honestly, I can't even lie.
All right, fantasy book, Job Squad versus the
Dude, I'm like, book that shit. I'm go for it, man. I'm in.
So that is the first one. The other one, of course, is Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks. This is a semifinal for the World Championship Eliminator Tournament. The winner of that match will face Ethan Page on Wednesday at Dynamite in the tournament final for that. So
Nice.
now on to the main card here, and we're going to start with one that has been much anticipated for quite a few many fans. My wife Tina especially is looking forward to this one. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD versus Soraya.
Yep.
I think it's safe to say we're all going to pick Soraya to win this one. Is that pretty obvious? Just making your debut, cleared from injury. You know, I'm curious to see how they work this match. What's the story they're going to tell? If they're going to tell the story with the neck and everything, if that becomes part of it. But what are you looking forward to most out of this? Go ahead, Tommy.
Oh, I was gonna say first, I'm not gonna be surprised if we're wrong though, honestly, just because that's how Soraya is. I wouldn't be that shocked, but I want her to win. But what I'm looking forward to most is just her getting. Okay, I feel like this is the month of crying because of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I feel like ain't nobody walking away from this match with dry eyes. I just feel like it's impossible. This poor girl had to stop her career, not because of an injury, just because of just wear and tear on her body over the years, just like with Shibata and Edge. So she had to stop. By some miracle, she's able to wrestle again, even if it's on a case-by-case basis, like with Shibata. I don't care. I'll take it. That was the case when Shibata wrestled. They say he only wrestled every once in a while. My immediate reaction was, I don't care if he wrestles once a year. Give me a match with this man, and I don't care. So I'm in for her. Just going in and making it work however she can. As long as everyone comes out of it healthy, I feel like we're all good here.
Yeah, no, I feel the same way. It'd be nice, it's going to be nice to see her back. Yep. Obviously you got to assume if she's cleared, she started training somewhere. So hopefully, I'm sure there'll be a little bit of ring rust, but hopefully they can get through that pretty quickly. And it's nice to see that she's at least initially able to continue her career after missing all that time. Britt Baker, really has become like one of the, if not the top woman in the division as far as publicity. I see how you're saying like you could potentially see Soraya losing because you would be willing to put her over.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like you got to give the fans that moment.
Just once.
Even if you want, Britt to, beat her up afterwards and get some heat back or something. So she can also get the heel heat off of it. I think you got to give them that moment.
All right. Well, we're all taking Soraya there, it seems like. Next one is a tag match: Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal versus Sting and Darby Allin. You guys know me. I'm a huge Darby Allin guy. The guy sent me a freaking cameo for my 40th birthday, for crying out loud. So, gonna stick with Sting and Darby Allin. That's my pick on this one. I just love how this dynamic is working as a team. Mike, you're smiling there. I think this one's a tough one for you. What you got?
No, it's not. How does Jeff Jarrett just keep popping up in all these promotions and
look, I would get mad if I didn't want to know his secret to how he stays getting money. Okay, I feel like he's a living version of that Kevin Hart joke where he's like him and his friend in the club, get money, get money. I feel like that's Jeff Jarrett, man.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Darby Allin, it's almost like a TNA, throwback here.
But to be fair, Jeff would have absolutely booked Darby Allin back in the day.
Oh no, yeah, definitely would. I just have him. Yeah, I gotta stick with Sting and Darby Allin. For the most part, I don't think they've really lost very often, if at all.
I don't believe so.
Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal is not that team, unfortunately.
No. All right, Tommy, are you on that train too, or were you?
Yeah, as much as I love my old buddy Jeff Jarrett, as much as I just I miss just getting to sit and talk with him ringside about just life and the things we've been through, and man, we would just have a hoot. Guys, look up on YouTube to know what I'm talking about. I think it's on YouTube. Anyway, But no, I'm thinking Sting and Darby. I'm kind of like them with Deonna Purrazzo. Until they lose, I'm betting on them, and only because I feel like also one reason why this happened is Sting and Jer like, okay, we're both this close to never ever wrestling again. I'm lying. They're this close. But let's hit tag one more. We're lying 5 more times again with young talent.
Real quick, you just gave me an idea, Tommy, not to have like a production meeting live on our show, but I think the first thing we need to put if we ever start a Patreon is a super cut of YouTube videos of Tommy arguing with wrestlers ringside, because that's like, you know, those 8-hour YouTube videos of like I'm pretty sure we could easily get an 8-hour video of just YouTube videos of Tommy arguing and getting into things with people.
I know there's at least 3 that I have saved on my hard drive somewhere.
let me just put it this way: wrestling promoters out there, Brandon Oliver, Darren, if you have access to that stuff, Terry with BOW, Inspire Pro guys, hell, Todd Sinclair. I know you don't own Ring of Honor, but you got to have that video library somewhere of him talking with Bobby Fish. Can y'all send me that stuff? I'll make it. Okay, I'll make the arguing videos here. You know?
Thunder Rosa,
Thunder Rosa
and Brian Cervantes.
Oh, of course.
I know at least one main event that was delayed because Tommy wouldn't stop talking to people.
Oh, it was only for a minute.
It was delayed. I'm just saying. It was my first ever Mission Pro.
I didn't say you were wrong. I just said it was only a minute. I don't know if you guys remember the first time I ever did that was in ACW with Jimmy Jacobs. Because we
probably didn't even know you that well back then.
You probably didn't. That's not think about it. No, but this was like 06 maybe, and he was still feuding with like Austin Aries and Tyler Black and everyone in ROH. And I knew every single person he was feuding with, and I kept listing them, and he kept stopping and staring at me.
Stop bringing up good times, man.
Steady likes the idea, by the way. He's listening. So
I think it's great, only because I need to remember half of what I said and did. Dude, that was so long ago. I forgot. Like, I'm sure there are clips, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was me. I forgot that happened.
Yeah.
All right. Steel cage match. Former tag partners Luchasaurus against Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. Mike, where you going with this one?
I mean, assuming especially because he's always been called one of the pillars, you got to keep pushing Jungle Boy up that ladder, metaphorically speaking. And I like Luchasaurus, and I think he's great for a big guy in what he can do. But this seems like the perfect place to continue that. Really bring this breakup to an end, and let Jungle Boy, especially with things we think may happen later in the show. I assume we were going to think he would be a perfect person to start pushing down that road as well. So I'm going to go Jungle Boy.
All right, Tommy.
Jungle Boy. I feel like they've been teasing it enough, and he needs the big win here. Same reasons as Mike, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Jungle Boy too. It's a very much a David versus Goliath type thing. That's definitely the story they're going to tell. And how many times we expect the steel cage match to be the big guy winning and the more athletic, smaller guys able to pull it off. So
this is only like their third regular steel cage match, right? You've only had like 2 others, right?
They don't have very often.
Oh no, 4.
The
women's tag team and Cody and Wardlow, right?
Yeah.
Because I know we've had Blood and Guts, but I'm talking about just regular steel cage. This is only the 4th one, right?
I think you're right. Offhand.
Okay.
All right. TBS Championship: Jade Cargill versus Nyla Rose.
Where Mike's going.
Yeah, are we all picking Jade until she loses at this point? Because I just. I feel like the build-up hasn't been as well.
I may have to respectfully go Nyla.
So you're gonna go Nyla.
I'm gonna go Nyla on this one.
Okay, Mike. What about you?
This is definitely a heart versus head.
What every Jade Cargill match is that for you?
And honestly, the heart is not Nyla specifically. The heart is the Jade Cargill opponent. But I'm gonna have to go with my head, Jade Cargill. I can't see them I don't know what they were trying to get out of this story. I don't know if they thought people would feel bad for Jade, but Nyla honestly is just kind of funny. And like if you
No.
follow her on Twitter,
I was just
and
gonna
they've
say
kinda
she's
gi-
hilarious.
Yeah, and they've kind of given her more like mic time in this, not completely, but yeah. So I don't feel bad for Jade Cargill. I still
Do-
think her title run is just very stagnant right now, but I think she's gonna win.
You know what this reminds me of? This her coming out of her show like this reminds me of kind of when Big E got to let loose with the New Day. They got to show their comedic side, which is what I'm kind of waiting for Omos to do. Osmosis, for those of you who watch the
Who?
show.
Oh, Osmosis.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
I don't know his real
if you ever watch his clips on like up down, he's hilarious,
Mhm.
and it's just and I get he's got to be the big dude and just
How many
talk-
cameras do they use when he's on? Like, do they have to have one pointing up and then one pointing every?
but about three,
Okay.
and then they almost get his entire face, but you have to watch dual screens to get there, so.
They just go with the camera angle. What was that? The Naked Gun movies where they had that really tall guy you never saw his face. It's just
Yeah.
this big dude. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
I'm sticking with Jade Cargill at this point. I'm afraid to say what's probably going to eventually happen is she's going to win the women's championship, maybe the interim
with
one,
this,
and then just drop the TBS. So I don't know. It just feels that way. I hope
that.
not.
I really
But
I know
what
what you're saying. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TNT Championship, Wardlow is defending against Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. 3-way match for the TNT Championship. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, no, just because of what the storyline and what was gone down, I'm kind of surprised they didn't do the both titles on the line with this.
I feel like
and
they
have
were waiting
Wardlow
for
put his
the.
TNT. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel
'cause
like they're waiting for the
December,
final
right?
battle. Yeah, I thought
You're
they
right, I
were going
didn't
to,
think
but then
about
final
that.
battle is like 3 weeks after this.
That's a good point.
So
Yeah.
that's why they're probably not doing it yet. So,
Mhm.
so I feel like they want Joe walking in with that belt regardless.
I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna say Powerhouse Hobbs wins because the other two are not that he can't defeat them himself, but I
Yeah.
think he's gonna take advantage as more of the heel. Samoa Joe was I'm gonna kill you heel. Powerhouse Hobbs, a powerhouse, but also I think a little more of a sneaky heel. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Powerhouse Hobbs. I think he's gonna steal a pin on one of them after they've taken the other one's finisher, and then he could hit his finisher to kind of make it more devastating and slip out with the title there.
Who is Joe wrestling a final battle? Have they announced his opponent
No,
yet?
no,
They
they
haven't,
haven't.
they haven't
They have
announced, I think, anything for final
Okay.
battle yet.
But
so.
this may affect that match.
Yeah, for real.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Wardlow to retain.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if this is the route they're gonna go with this to Ring of Honor, but what if they do title for title or title versus title, TNT champion versus ROH TV champion at a final battle? And you finally get the Wardlow Samoa Joe blow off there. So
Yeah.
Joe, of course, has a TV title. So I'm going to go with Wardlow. I mean, maybe that's a potential possibility, and they could do a pretty good job building that up. Tommy, which way are you going with this one?
Actually, I'm with Mike. I was thinking Hobbs, for
Okay.
a while now. I just feel like at this point, he's an unsung pillar. I'll put it that way. It's like, think about when he debuted. Like, he was this young, spunky kid who looked like he was chiseled out of actual stone. Big meaty man slapping meat. So Vince McMahon's absolute wet dream, and he's probably mad he didn't find him first.
Mhm.
And look at how far he's come. I mean, he's one of their biggest spokespersons for depression and seek help, mental health, everything like that. And rightfully so. I'm saying that he deserves to be there because of the stuff he's been through. So God bless him. I'm happy for him. But I feel like now they're going to reward that for all he's done. And I feel like Wardlow, I mean, if he loses, who cares? It's like if Joe lose. It's like, what this reminds me of? It reminds me of when Joe lost the Ring of Honor World title to Austin Aries. In no way, shape, or form did that hurt Joe. I mean, it just sucked he wasn't world champion anymore because everyone loved it, me included. But it didn't make a damn difference because he's still Samoa freaking Joe. He's still the same guy who can kill you if he feels like it. So, he doesn't have the world title anymore. He's still one of the most over guys ever. Same with Wardlow now. And I feel like he can now move on to the world title at some point after everything goes on.
Especially also with things we think may happen later.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like it's Hobbs' turn. He's been one of their most consistent guys. The dude was one of the, I'll say it. He was one of the pandemic heroes because he had that baby face run when he got there. He turned heel in the most epic way. Was a Team Taz staple for a long time, and then turned heel against Ricky Starks, and he turned more heel at Ricky Starks, and it was just awesome. So I think he's about due his turn, really.
Right.
Can I ask a quick question that kind of relates to Wardlow, and then maybe we can go in depth in this later?
Yeah.
When was the last time that you feel like a face who kind of was like running the gauntlet to win that title had a good run with the title afterwards? Because I feel like in both companies, so often we've waited for that run to the title. It's been a pretty good story. Like Wardlow was getting all that. Everyone's getting behind him, even when at the end of his days as MJF's, bodyguard.
Yeah,
The fans would love him when we would do the symphonies, the Powerbomb Symphony. I just don't feel like his run as TNT champion has been all that great, and I think that's true for a lot of faces that finally win that belt over the last few years, if not a little bit longer, in both companies, right? Like we can say, similar things for Thunder Rosa. She had a great story, gave her the title, then they didn't do much with her. Kofi, Daniel Bryan, going back. Face has the great story, gets the title, even a little bit of Hangman. Hangman had some good matches afterwards. Maybe Hangman is that exception. But when was the last time you felt like once they got that big moment, the reign was also pretty good too?
Meaning they were still getting the same,
sorry.
like the idea being that they're still getting the same fan reaction they got in the fight to get there.
Yeah, and you felt like you didn't feel like they got booked kind of crappily afterwards, because I feel like that happened a lot.
Okada.
And
of course, that's why didn't I think of that first?
okay,
But that classic matches he had after he won.
honestly, and I have to go in the Wayback Machine for this one, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Well, yeah,
Fair enough. Yeah,
that's the thing that no one has really stood out to me since then. He won the title, the fan build up for him winning the Rumble, winning 2 Rumbles. Think about that. He won a Rumble and didn't get to challenge for the title because it was a Final Four thing, right?
Yeah.
Wins it, beats Shawn Michaels, and you think, okay, now he's finally champion. What do you do from this? And then the Austin McMahon storyline begins.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just the right story at the right time. You wanted him to be this champion, and that went on for years. That's honestly the last time you had such a run at a title, and then it lived up to the hype that you had built up to it. Yeah, because, and you're right, so many times you get this big hype about him getting a title, and then how it's booked, right? That's kind of a shame.
Well, because even think about Becky when she had the whole huge run with the man WrestleMania main event, and then within a month her and Rollins are fighting Corbin, and was it Lacey Evans or something?
Lacey Evans, yeah.
They're tied to their real life relationship kind of thing. Like, that makes sense.
You're like, she was the man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think because I really do think you're right.
Maybe Bianca Belair a little bit.
Yeah,
like she had a pretty solid
until
run.
SummerSlam that year.
Yeah, thanks in part to Bailey after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
there
just
are
wanted
a couple.
to throw Bailey in there.
Yeah, of course you did. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna think Cesaro kind of when he had the ROH title. I feel like he had a series of good matches.
I wish it would have been longer, but at least the matches he had, right? Yeah,
yeah.
But I mean, there really wasn't
Claudio,
a major.
by the way, excuse me.
Okay,
Claudio.
Dude, it was like 15 years of me calling him Cesaro. I'm working on it.
But there wasn't like such a long build up for him to get that title. Unless you look at his unless you look at his whole career, was always to win a title, right?
I think that's kind of where I was going mentally with that. My bad.
that may be true.
It makes sense, but yeah,
I think that's the sleepy part of me coming in. I was like, well, no, it's Claudio, because he spent 20 freaking years trying to become a world champion, and no one put a damn belt on him. So
it's very possible, and I think what you're getting at is potentially MJF could be that storyline.
Actually, in a way, yeah. If he
in a way. Well, even if he turns heel,
yeah,
True.
Well, I was Yeah,
You
I
started
see
this with
what you're saying.
Wardlow, yes, but
Well, I
yeah,
was talking
it's-
about faces and people that the fans were getting behind, but you're right. They're getting behind MJF, and it depends on, well, if we assume he wins and he does, what happens afterwards. So
yeah. You know what? When we get to that match, we'll talk a little bit more in depth of
there
this,
you
and I
go.
have some theories on that too. Let's get to the Trios Championship. Death Triangle defending against the Elite. I'm going with the Elite on this one. In the grand tradition of 6-man tag championship matches, they don't generally stay on one team for very long, and I feel like the Elite's gonna get this one right here at this, and hold the Trios title. Mike, what about you?
Normally, I would agree with you without hesitation,
Mhm.
but there's a part of me, given what they've come off of, I know like they literally won them and then they had to give them up, so you kind of feel like, oh, they're just getting them back.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess I'm going to go with the Elite. I'm honestly not confident in the pick because I feel like there's a lot of variables with it, just because of they're basically coming off a suspension.
Yeah,
Um, and there's just and it could be an interesting storyline for them to lose and then cause issue and trouble with everything that went down. Like there was those very interesting videos they were making these past couple weeks, or vignettes with all the history of AEW that they were part of, and then they got Thanos snapped away. I guess they've been watching too much TBS and TNT, Avengers Endgame before. Like sorry, I always love the Tony Khan tweets
in their
before
defense,
show.
in their defense, who don't want some of that MCU money? I know I do.
Well, no, you're not wrong. But I just love the Tony Khan tweets before Rampage or Dynamite starts, where he's like, "Well, the end of this movie," and he'll talk about the end of whatever movies preceding it.
Yeah,
Like, oh well, the Avengers have all come out of the portals. It's almost time for
for like Dynamite or
start,
Rampage,
whatever it is.
yeah.
I mean, props to him. I mean, that's how you make the network happy.
Yeah,
Sure.
not wrong.
Tommy, where are you going with this match?
I'm actually going Death Triangle, really, because
Right.
honestly, for the reasons Mike mentioned, I feel like they're going to.
The reasons I mentioned but didn't choose. No,
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, yeah, I feel like they're kind of in the position where they kind of carried the company banner when everyone else kind of effed it over. And so I feel like they should be rewarded by beating the team that everyone thinks that's not going to lose. No offense to Kenny and the Bucks. I mean, but they've been 6-man tag champions repeatedly all over the world.
Okay, I have another interesting question because we know how much the Bucks, given their AEW history, love to make little fourth wall breaking meta jabs about things going on. Do they at any point bring a dog into the ring
Oh
and
God.
pretend to hit it? Does any one of them get bitten in the middle of this match? Do they make reference to that in some way in the match?
Don't give them any ideas, Jesus.
I don't think I need to give
I
them
wish
one.
I wish I could say no,
No, yeah,
but
it's not zero. It's definitely
the
not
chances
zero.
of that happening are slim, but never zero.
Right.
Yep. All right, AEW Tag Team Championship, The Acclaimed versus Swerve in Our Glory.
Everyone loves the Acclaimed.
Yes, I mean,
the fact that that's become such a it's almost like the 2022 suck it. It's just hilarious to me to see so many. I'm more than positive heterosexual grown men saying "sis me daddy ass" is absolutely hilarious. And to me, I love that it's just like everyone's just having fun with it. It's just you can hear the whole crowd.
How the hell is Billy Gunn caught in this whole ordeal? It's kind of like they combined the DX and the Billy and Chuck thing into kind of a stable kind of thing here.
Because honestly, Billy Gunn has the nostalgia of DX.
Yeah.
And then you throw him in AEW where, well, I mean, there's a few guys, but he doesn't have to fight or have to, be overshadowed by Shawn and Triple H. And the bigger names. I mean, Jericho's there, Sting's there, but like they're never really all together. Yeah. They're never those guys never all together. So you get AEW has all these young indie guys, some long-standing indie guys, but they don't have that Attitude Era connection. And I mean, Billy Gunn's always going to be connected to that. So, it's been great. I love his inclusion in this, and he just kind of goes with it and has fun.
That's what I was gonna say. It feels like he's just having fun, and like the reason he got caught up in this is because Caster and Bowens are just like, "Hey, he's hilarious. Come hang out with us while we go to the ring." And he's like, "Sure." And he was like to his sons, "Hey, what if you guys turn heel and beat me up?" They're like, "Okay." And like everyone just kind of went about their merry way, and it kind of and like unexpectedly, everyone was like, "Did this work way better than any of us thought it would?" Oh yeah, it really did.
and it really started when Bowens was hurt, and Billy was always pushing him down in the wheelchair. Yeah. I feel like that's when it really because then he would just turn around and do the scissor over the shoulder.
Yeah, but I feel like Billy Gunn is like he's kind of like saying just having fun with his career. He's done all he needs to do. He doesn't need to have the best match, or he can just like go out there and do something stupid like just scissor me daddy ass for like and that's all the pop he needs. It's probably the highest selling shirt he's ever been on, aside from an old school DX shirt.
yeah. But it's also kind of funny too because I mean Billy Gunn, there was a lot of guys when he was in the Attitude Era that were like the same size as him. Like he like in AEW, he towers over a majority of outside of
and
like
he's
maybe
immortal.
Keith Lee,
he's immortal.
Outside of like a Keith Lee and a few guys, like he just looks huge and jacked compared to a lot of them.
And he hasn't hit. I'm not kidding though. He looks like the same he did in '98. Like he may have 2 more wrinkles. That's it. Other than that, this dude looks like exactly like he did in 1998. It's like what the hell? Why did the rest of DX get supremely older, and this MF did not look does not look a day older than he did in '98? Like for real.
DDP yoga. Straight up, DDP yoga. That's what it was. He's probably doing that.
You know what? You know what? At this point, I believe in DDP yoga. Like,
see, now you just made me think about bald Shawn Michaels, and I'm just a little sadder now.
Speaking of DDP yoga and saving careers, the Ring of Honor Championship currently
wait, hold on. Did we all choose?
I think we all said the Acclaimed, right? That's what I thought we were saying.
Oh yeah, I couldn't remember what we said, but yeah, I picked the Acclaimed.
Yeah. So
we completely forgot.
I don't know if we actually said it, but yeah, that's what I was going to go.
I mean, I figure since we all did the whole scissor thing.
Yeah. Well, dude, me and Mike are very sleepy. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's get this before y'all fall asleep on me. Ring of Honor Championship. Chris Jericho, speaking of somebody who uses DDP yoga, defending in a 4-way dance against Bryan Danielson, Claudio Castagnoli, and Sammy Guevara. Mike, you're wearing the shirt. Make your pick, sir.
Well, this has definitely got to go with my hard pick. He tapped out Jericho in a tag match on Dynamite, which is usually a bad sign for the result of a pay-per-view. But I don't care. Defy the odds. 2-time ROH champion, Claudio, this Saturday. Make it happen, you cowards. And everyone keep booing Sammy Guevara because we don't like him.
Tommy, really longtime Ring of Honor fan, who you got this one?
I'm so torn. Because Claudio and Bryan Danielson are in this match. You have a guy who I couldn't wait to win it and a dude who had it third longest out of anyone in history.
Who could also become a 2-time champion, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
True.
So, yeah.
Howdy ho.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He never won it again. That's right. That was his one title reign. God, man, I don't know. Because I know it's not Sammy.
We're gonna say hi to Burnsy while Tommy's contemplating.
Yeah.
What's up, Burnsy? I just know it's not Sammy. It can't be.
You're God, it better not be Sammy. You imagine the backlash Ring of Honor fans if Sammy Guevara won this?
I might have to drive to Houston and attack him. Just on site. Like add
that to the compilation. Yeah.
That might have to be an on-site thing.
There's back when it was Bieber, there has to be tons of Tommy, Sammy Guevara interactions in this 8 hours.
I'm thinking we had to have. I can't.
There had to have been.
Okay, I need Brandon to show me because I can't remember.
I went to a few RCW shows, only a few, and it just saw everyone just chanting Bieber at him the whole time. So I'm sure Tommy was.
Brandon Oliver made him come out to Baby back in the day.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. So, you know what? I hate to say this, but I think I'm going to go with Jericho. because I feel like he's going to take the belt into final battle against someone who will be a super over face. I don't know who that'll be. Maybe a former ROH World Champion, maybe Claudio. I don't know, but I feel like that'll be the story they go with. But we'll see. But as much as I hate to say it, I'm gonna pick Jericho.
You know what I would love to see real quick is Claudio Bryan Danielson fighting over that belt.
Oh, they're going to. There's no way they're not. It's gotta come to that.
That's actually potentially why I think neither one of them is going to win. How many times we've seen a storyline, guys that are in a team, in a stable, fighting for a title, and then they end up just kind of making sure neither one wins. Plus, they really got this Ocho thing going with Christian. How amazing. He just finds a way to just get a word in there about a title reign, something, and they just run with it.
Yep.
He's got the Ocho. He's sticking with the Ocho. Yeah, I think Jericho's going to retain. Mostly because there's going to be a little bit of infighting in this match between Danielson and Claudio. And I feel like one of those two guys is going to take the pin, while the other will probably get to challenge Jericho for the title.
I just saw Birdie's comment. Sorry, JC.
I
forget. Yeah, that happened too.
Yep,
I remember that.
Yep. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jericho to win this one. I think he's going to end up pinning Danielson, and you're going to get Claudio versus Jericho at Final Battle.
I'd be down with that.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the route I think I'm going with this one. Now, AEW Interim Women's Championship. Toni Storm defending it against Jamie Hayter. Looking on your faces, I think everyone's kind of split on this one, or does everyone seem to think Toni Storm's going to go? Because that's where I'm going. I think Toni Storm's going to be holding this one.
I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter.
Okay.
Kind of going back to what we were just talking about a second ago, she's getting. I like Toni Storm. Don't get me wrong. Although some of the comments she's made, I understand them, but also I don't know if they're in character or not.
Yeah.
Seem a little disrespectful toward Thunder Rosa, but Jamie Hayter has legitimately been getting the fan reaction. I think people are waiting for her to break away from Britt Baker. They teased it. It happened for like a week, and then she came right back. And that was a little disappointing.
Like a toxic relationship.
Yeah. But I say pull the trigger. Like they've kind of had some title changes here. Thunder Rosa's are always kind of sitting back there as well whenever she can come back. So there's a lot of matches you can get out of either one of these winning, honestly. But I don't know how often we've had an interim champ where that belt changes hands a few times before the champ comes back. That could be interesting. Usually, like the one person wins the interim and kind of holds it until the champ is back. So it'd also be kind of interesting to see if it changes before the champ gets back.
All right. Tommy, where you go with this one?
Oh, screw it. I'm going Jamie Hayter. I was really torn too, but I feel like they really have been like there's a huge fan groundswell for her. This is like a Stardom rematch for. I'm sure they have a singles match at some point in Stardom, but yeah. So I feel like this is just going to be her time to shine, and then I feel like they're going to take the interim off at some point, which sucks because I don't know how if Thunder Rosa is still injured or not.
I might have something about that in my 1 minute warning.
Okay.
I mean, you can talk about some more if you want, but I had a thought that I think would make it a little bit easier to deal with, not just for Thunder Rosa, but in general, because we've seen it a few times where they've had to do interim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm gonna go Jamie Hayter just to see what happens. Yep.
Finally, AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley defending against MJF. This, of course, is MJF's casino ladder poker chip cash-in match. And guys, just coming off the top of it, we're talking about what was the last time we had a build-up for something, and then it panned out when they won the title. I'm going to start off by saying I think MJF is going to win on this one. And when you talk about the build-up, his career is so unique. It's so different from anything that we've ever seen. and he is a big reason why. He has fans coming up asking them to insult him as the top
Yes.
heel in wrestling anywhere. And everyone's like, well, he's a face now. In a way, he's kind of been a face before just from the fan reaction, but he's just plays the heel role so well. Even now, I'm not even entirely convinced he's a face, as he's getting a good reaction, and I fully expect him to win this match or either turn heel in the course of it or potentially afterward, and he's going to have his run as a heel champion. But fans might still be cheering him. I feel like the build up to this moment for him started when he made his AEW debut.
Yeah.
The story they have run has just been amazing with this. The way the whole CM Punk situation too as well. This could have been CM Punk versus MJF, but still, they're doing such a good job promoting this with Moxley. I think it's finally MJF's time. So go ahead, Tommy.
I'm gonna say though, if losing CM Punk meant we got that MJF William Regal promo, sorry, I feel like that's actually better than what we were potentially gonna get. I feel honestly, I'm not sacrilege to some fans, but that's how I feel.
All right, well, who are you picking on this one?
I gotta go MJF, man. I don't see any reason they wouldn't. It's not like Moxley needs a world title to be the face of the company. I mean, MJF arguably already is. They just haven't put the world title on him before. But I just feel like that's what they've been leaning towards. This whole feud, top-notch work from both of them, building this up. Even with the firm stuff. MJF and Regal, like I said, MJF and Moxley for getting the pay-per-views on Saturday because he said Sunday.
That was kind of funny,
which was hilarious because he said, "What day is it on?" And I was like, "That's awesome." So, but yeah, I'm going MJF.
All right, Mike.
I'm going MJF too. That's not really a dispute for me. I think it's been pretty well documented on the show that I don't dislike MJF, but I'm leery of everyone anointing him as perfect so often.
Yeah,
he's great, and I fully expect him to be a top guy for years. And again, I know he's always in character, so first of all, I really can't take anything he says in any interview completely seriously because he's always in character. And so maybe I'm nitpicking here, but do I think that this is going to be a match that changes the face of wrestling? No. Like, do I think it's going to be a good match? Do I think MJF has the potential to be a great champion? Yes. But he does not need to be a face in any way. I do not care how much the fans cheer him. I know, like Tommy, you sent the thing of him doing the promo after Dynamite.
Yeah. After Dynamite.
I don't think we need this from him. I need MJF to be a complete, especially for someone who is always in character. I need him to be, I don't need him to not cheat and prove that he is good enough because I don't think that's the MJF character. MJF is not someone that intimidates you when he comes to the ring. He's not a Goldberg or a Batista. Like, he's a strong man, obviously, and he's a wrestler, but he's not intimidating people with his physique or like by overpowering them. He is a dastardly heel who's been really good at it. Honestly, I would love to see Regal turn on Blackpool Combat Club and help him. But I don't need MJF winning this because he's just good enough. I need him cheating, pulling the wool. I mean, if you're going to spend your entire time calling yourself the devil, the devil, the devil, what is the most famous phrase that gets overused in movies about the devil? His greatest trick was making people think he didn't exist.
I mean, that phrase has been used a ton of times in this feud alone.
In this thing itself. I don't need him proving that he's better than Jon Moxley because wrestling-wise, he should not be. He should be a heel. He should cheat his butt off. He should cheat in the biggest way possible, just rubbing it in. And then he needs to go on a run as a heel where he is not doing good things. I don't like this kind of in the middle where the fans are cheering him, so I guess he's the face. I don't think that's what's going to be best for his character. in the long run.
I feel like, though, honestly, they are going to turn him face, but he's going to be a face who only cheats when he absolutely has to, in a way. Or he could do like the Daniel Bryan thing when Daniel Bryan became like the planet's champion, calling everyone fickle and everything like that. That's kind of what I see. I kind of see him as like Daniel Bryan and that Bryan Danielson. I'm sleepy. In that way.
We're using all the WWE names tonight.
No, but he was Daniel Bryan at the time he did that.
That's a good point.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So I was following along with that. Yeah.
Thank you for saving me, JC, because God knows I was.
You're welcome.
But no, I feel like that's what they might go with that. But I see what Mike's saying though. I'll put it this way. This is one of the things I'm most interested to see what they do next. And I haven't said that in wrestling in a long time about anything. I'm most interested to see where this goes next.
And let me throw out like some, like The Miz. Has it ever been really good when he's a face? No. When is Miz really at his best? When he is healing it up. Now, MJF and him, I know they get compared a lot. They're not exactly the same heel.
True.
Because Miz in WWE especially, and because Miz is really good at being the chicken shit heel who runs away from the fight most of the time and is smart about it. I don't, MJF has to, I feel like should be in a somewhat similar vein, but just a heel. Like he needs to cheat. Again, when he made that promo about I'm not going to cheat because I need to prove that I'm better wrestler than you. I'm going to be the best wrestler in the world. I'm like, that's not MJF. I don't want a storyline where MJF is like a better wrestler than Bryan Danielson because I think we all know that's not true. With all due respect,
I don't know, man. I feel like they're going to kind of pull a 96, 97 Stone Cold with him and just make him like a loudmouth, foul-mouthed face. I really do. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, and if it happens, I'll give it a chance and see what happens. Me personally, I don't think that's.
I don't think they should go that route because then you're gonna basically get what MJF versus Tony Khan. You're gonna recycle the Austin McMahon storyline.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I sincerely doubt that. I'm not kidding. I really do feel like Tony won't do that. Like no kidding.
Burns taking MJF as well. Yeah,
nice mercy.
Pretty sure. Yep. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see how this match turns out. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the ring at some point. Yeah, I can't think it's an MJF style thing too. So.
Also, speaking of people having times in their life, I love William Regal during this whole feud. You can't kick the smile off of his face right now. He's so happy with everything going on.
Yeah,
he looks like a kid in a freaking. He does look like a proud parent. Like all of his kids are like graduating at the same time. He's like, look at what I did. I'm so proud of my sons. So that's how he looks right now.
And I know we were talking about the people that can jump up and face him, but assuming he does win, I need another Wheeler Yuta MJF match.
Yeah, man.
Because that was a great one. They had a couple, probably about a month ago now, or a month or two.
Yeah, Wheeler Yuta is definitely. This is one of the things I love about the Blackpool Combat Club. It really brought him out of that shell he was in.
Yeah.
All right, AEW Full Gear is Saturday, John Moxley. Saturday, November 19th at 7 p.m. Central Time.
I like it.
The buy-in / 0 hour, as it's called, is going to start at 6. There's going to have those two matches on there. It's taking place at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Now, it is available on Bleacher Report at the $50 price. It's available on Fight TV internationally, but this pay-per-view is also available on your traditional pay-per-view providers. If you still have cable, I'm a cord cutter myself, Dish, DirecTV, or you can also, if you go to the All Elite Wrestling website and go to the event info for this, there's a link to look up if a movie theater in your area is going to be selling tickets to watch this in a movie theater screen. For those of us in the San Antonio area, this is going to take place at Cinemark and also at the Regal Hebner Oaks.
Nice.
Hebner Oaks, JC.
Hebner Oaks, yeah. Well, back when it was the AMCs, right? Steady, by the way, was also a Hebner Oaks employee. So
yeah, JC, he started working there and then got me a job there.
Oh, nice.
Not too long after, in the concession stand.
I was working there when every freaking showing of Titanic sold out. From the moment it came out to the won the damn Academy Award. That was crazy.
I think I went there once, and I was on a date when I was there.
Nice.
Wonder if we sold you food. I was smart enough to wait till after Titanic had its run before I started working
damn
there.
Anyway, check it out if you want to be full of a theater with wrestling fans as well. Check out the All Elite website. They have a link. I don't have the link in front of me, but yeah, those are the 2 theaters in town that are going to be having showing Full Gear.
Also,
you
is
need to buy your
Cinemark the
tickets through
dollar
that,
theater over 410 and Evers?
Yes.
Nice.
It's right. It's
So-
it's
I haven't been there in ages either.
I went there when
Uh,
I was a kid.
No, it's
last time I was there.
$1.50 now.
I know I
I'm
saw
not sure.
Major Payne there in like middle school. That's
Oh my
right.
God.
You know what I think
Major
you know what I
Payne.
think I saw there, but I can't remember because I was so young at the time. I think I saw Transformers, the original cartoon movie there.
Oh, nice.
I think they were re-showing it because I was like, because I know I was like, I don't think I was born yet when they
With the
originally-
one of the best 80s soundtracks the cartoons ever had.
I mean,
Dude, man, will you preach on that? Because I keep telling people, if you want to know what the 80s sounded like, the Transformers, the movie soundtrack, bro, and I still rock that to this day.
You know-
I can listen to The Touch any time of the day. I don't give a damn. That's the best song.
Say what you want about that theater. Yeah, sure, the movies were $1 and growing up as a kid. Yeah, parents were on a budget. Oh, I knew I had to wait until they were $1 before I finally got to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
But that theater had the best arcade of any movie theater arcade in the city, straight up. And
You better preach on that, brother.
That's the theater that I finally.
Bernsey agrees with you.
What do you say? What do you say right here?
I assume he agrees with Tommy's 80s.
I'm just gonna say he's agreeing with me too.
Yeah.
But that's I'll always remember that because that theater, they always had the RoboCop video game, had the Star Wars, and that's the theater where I finally beat the Simpsons arcade game. Took me 13 quarters, but I finally beat that damn thing, and that was hard as hell. That Mr. Burns Bass Battle was a pain. So
you know, I have never once been an arcade game. Never once.
Wow.
In my entire life. I have played arcade games, lost 2 or 3 times, and just played something else. I have.
You know, you
never,
say that.
ever
I'm trying to
beaten an arcade
think.
game.
Have I ever beaten an arcade game?
But you want to know what's something funny?
What's
Do you remember when Peter Piper? I don't know if you guys ever been the one on this side of town. That was on. It used to be on Ingram and Callahan. Used to be Peter Piper over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever got carpal tunnel because I was playing the Captain America the Avengers game, and my hand locked the F up, dude. I was doing this so much I could not move this hand for like 10 minutes. I panicked. My dad was like, "Will you just calm down?" My dad had to talk me up. I thought I had permanently messed something up. My dad was like, "Son, it's okay. It happens. Your muscles just need to relax." No, Dad, it's broken. Son,
I mean,
calm down.
outside of fighting games, which you beat those as well, but like going through like games itself, like I beat the Ninja Turtles arcade game in an arcade, beating the Simpsons. The 2 that I always have gotten so close on, never able to finish. The Terminator 2 Judgment Day game, where you had the gun and everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, that was so hard. Could not protect John Connor to save my life at the very end.
The
So
closest I ever came to winning an arcade game was Time Crisis, the original. And I never got past the last 2 bosses until I bought the game on PlayStation and had the light gun there and beat it at home.
What was the cow? Do you remember the cowboy shoot? Did you ever go to CC's Pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Sunset Riders.
Was it Sun? Yeah, I think you're right.
With the 4 cowboys?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sunset Riders. Love that game.
Have it on Super Nintendo, guys. And
I feel like me and a friend, did we beat it? I feel like we got really far in that thing one night.
That thing was so hard because one hit.
I don't think I got past the 2nd level. I think I got past the 1st level and just died afterward.
I probably get to like the 3rd.
I used to love that game because we would go to CC's a lot, and that was one of them there with like Mortal Kombat and a couple other things.
Yeah,
I actually have it for my Super Nintendo. Just throwing it out there.
Nice.
So, the other one that I always get to the last guy can't finish, and to this day, if I see an arcade that has this game, I got to play this game. Silent Scope EX. It's still my favorite of the Silent Scope games, and I'll get headshot, everything I need to. It gets to that final boss, and it's a tiny window, and you get one shot at it, and if you miss, it's game over. You start from the very fucking beginning.
Ooh,
yes.
I sucked so bad at the Silent Scope games that I just gave up altogether.
Sorry, like honestly, like if I had my own home arcade game, that's like one game I have to have in there.
Yeah.
Just because the Silent Scope EX was so good. So
sorry about making you hungry, Burns, but I was just thinking, I don't know when the last time any of us has been to CC's Pizza, and honestly, nowadays as an adult, you're like, a buffet pizza, probably not that great, but it was always the best when you were.
But as a kid,
it was
somehow that was like heaven.
It was great.
Well, unfortunately for me, I have to go now just for the salad.
Yeah.
Or I'll take my own pizza in there because I can't eat what they got.
Taking your mod's pizza.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I go to Peter Piper, I'll bring my own food now. Whenever like a kid,
As a party.
Adi,
Yeah.
because Adi can't eat there either. So like we're
Right.
packing a peanut
Right.
butter and jelly or taking mod pizza with us for sure. So yeah, that's the life when you're allergic to dairy. That's just the way it
Yeah.
goes, right?
Yeah.
So
And
anyway,
that's why we brought it back to Full Gear. 'Cause
yeah,
Yeah.
back to Full Gear. I'm hoping to watch it. I might end up buying mod pizza to watch. I'm not sure yet, or I might
Nice.
just cook myself. So because I haven't gotten a whole lot of time to do that myself, for sure. All right, guys, let's move in now to our 1 minute warning segment here.
1 minute warning.
Mike, do you have something for us this week?
I do, yeah.
All right, whenever you're ready, and go.
All right, so this kind of goes back to the interim champion thing we were talking about earlier. And first of all, let me make it clear: we are all huge Thunder Rosa fans. We all support her. We all want her to make sure she gets better, comes back from whatever this back injury she's apparently dealing with or whatever. And this is not only specific to that situation because they did the same thing with Punk. NXT has done an interim thing a few times. It's happened a few times over the years. And the only thing I've heard recently with people talking about is how long is too long to keep it interim, whatever. And I feel like a small thing that could be done, so it's not kind of hanging over there, is simply say, if you're the champion who has to relinquish the title and you never lost it, get better. You have an automatic title shot whenever you come back and are ready, right? So that way the championship keeps going on, but when you're ready, you never lost it. That's like your first match back. Like whenever you're ready and back, you are facing the champion for the title. I know you obviously got to worry about storylines and other things, but I think I think Tony, and even when before, they've used the interim thing with the best of intention. It was a different thing. But I do understand how it can frustrate potentially those people who then take the interim belt to move on.
Hmm.
And then, like it's also going to be frustrating for the champion because you're trying to rehab your injury and come back. But I think something like that could make things a little bit easier and not have to kind of worry about that all the way around.
All right. Much debate. Yeah, you wonder how long it's going to be before they have to make that decision. But
Yeah.
Thunder Rosa's injuries.
Well, I guess that was another thing that
Mhm.
Tony Khan had a media call, I guess, for Full Gear, and they asked him, and he said that he said he wants to give Thunder Rosa the time she needs to recover and come back when she's ready. So,
Yeah, it is a pretty significant injury from the way she's described it
Yeah.
too.
Right.
She hasn't even gotten a chance to start rehabbing, but
Yeah.
hopefully she can get that started soon.
Real
Yeah.
quick, you think there's a small chance that's a little kayfabe, and maybe she shows up out of nowhere at Full Gear?
Full Gear might be pushing it. I would
hope.
say maybe at Revolution. That's the next pay-per-view, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she shows. I mean, hopefully she shows up in San Antonio when we're there.
Oh
Something,
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
definitely.
Just to make an appearance.
Yeah.
Who knows? You never know, right? The way AEW does this is so well. It's hard to know what's real, what story, what everything.
Yeah.
Tommy, you got something this week?
Nah, I can't really think of anything. I think that's I could think of nothing in time. So no, I'm good.
Okay, all good. You're good.
Was New Japan off this week, or
Say what?
so was New Japan off this week? I'm just kidding.
Jesus
Now,
Christ.
if you just want me to spout out New Japan's related stuff,
No.
screw it. I'm okay. No, I'm
No,
good.
let me-
All right. For me, guys, I just want to say this. I don't know if you guys are aware, but today is the 10th anniversary of the debut of the Shield. Believe it or
did
not,
see
it
that,
has
man.
been 10 years
God,
since we saw Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose, who most people didn't even know who they were, take off their disguised as cameramen and attack Ryback during his match against CM Punk. And CM Punk, of course, retains the titles. I think that was Ryback's first loss, if I'm not mistaken. It
I think
seems
so.
like it's been a
So-
while. Yeah. So crazy to think that 10 years later, how their careers have gone. Rollins, of course, is still WWE. Roman Reigns Now, I mean, he's held the title for God knows how long at the head of the table. Yeah, and then Dean Ambrose had a successful WWE career, and now is the top guy in AEW. Just the legacy of that stable is pretty damn amazing, and to think that that what they've done in such a short amount of time in their careers is pretty awesome since they debuted in WWE. So
No, you're right. Like 10 years later, they're legitimately the top of their companies pretty much. I mean,
mhm.
even Rollins not having the world title because they're both on range is one of their top guys. He's like right there behind Roman.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to think back on that, you know.
The
And
Shield
just that.
debuted when I was
Hey, there you go, Mike.
24 years old.
When you were how old?
24 years old.
Whoa,
Whoa.
crazy.
Mike's got the logo there,
They debuted the year after I graduated from college. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we're all old, just so you know.
Oh my
Burns,
Who's
God! I
the- what the-
graduated college 11 years ago, my dudes.
My dudes, I graduated college like 19 years ago, so
Do they put alcohol
Yeah.
in Pepsi? I'm gonna go see if they put alcohol in Pepsi because I need
When
alcohol.
did I graduate?
you know, I'm
72.
pretty sure they do actually, but
Now, granted, yes, Mike and I went to high school together, but I graduated college only 12 years ago because it took me a little bit longer, guys.
Yeah,
So,
it is.
you know, but I got there.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm not judging for a second there. I didn't think I was gonna make it at all. Shoot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, if I could just pass the student loan forgiveness thing, I can finally
yeah.
knock 5 years of payments off of my life. I've already calculated that, so sure.
Nice.
Thank you everyone for joining us on this week's episode of the WrestleCast. Again, Full Gear is Saturday, November 19th, 7 p.m. Central Time on Bleacher Report, traditional pay-per-view, or check out the All Elite Wrestling website to find out what movie theaters in your area it's going to be showing at. Again, in San Antonio, that's the Cinemark 16 and the Regal Huebner Oaks. Next week, we'll recap Full Gear. We'll preview Survivor Series War Games.
Well, Burnsy, what? Burnsy was a freaking prom king?
Are you for real? Sure,
Respect
just flex on us,
Burnsy,
why don't you? Sure,
right?
just flex, you know?
I was a prom king.
Okay, either
I didn't
he's
have a
bragging and he's trying to show us up, he's lying, or it was just a really small school. And
Wow.
I'm messing with you, Burnsy. I love you, bro.
Dude, we all got to go to the show. Burnsy's got to come down for a show one day. We all got to go together.
Yeah, no respect to that, Burnsy.
Yeah.
We weren't cool
I'm
enough for
messing with
that.
Next week, we'll recap Full Gear, preview War Games. Will War Games save Survivor Series? Let's just ask that question now.
Oh, shit. Wow.
And
Can
possibly
we answer it now? Yes.
Okay. And my wife Tina will probably be on the show to talk War Games. It's one of her favorite pay-per-views of the year. And we also may take the time to discuss the women's 150
The
finally.
WrestleCast reunites.
Yep. And what else? Did you say? Fight.
Uh-oh.
Steady. Yes, the logo. So everyone wants to see it. Let me just say, yeah, it's right there next to Mike right there. Tomorrow on the Countdown City Geeks Redbubble website, I believe it's called Redbubble. I hope I'm saying that right. We'll have some t-shirts for sale with this new WrestleCast logo on it, guys. Sizes range from adult small to adult 3X.
So on
So
the
Mike-
shirt.
Oh,
Huh?
we're on
Yeah.
Redbubble? I didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, we're on Redbubble, and right now they got some Black Friday sales going on right now. So it seems like everyone's doing that this week. Get on there, get your WrestleCast t-shirts. Those will be available tomorrow. And if you got some extra cash lying around, take advantage of the Pro Wrestling Tees Black Friday sales. They're going to have that going on for the next 10 days. Might as well take advantage, get some shirts from your favorite wrestlers. And I think that also impacts the AEW store as well. So
Yeah, they usually do because they're connected.
Yeah.
Tommy, you know what I'm buying then? We had this conversation a few weeks ago. You said you would have judged me. You said you would.
I did. Okay, I did.
He's not going to judge you out loud, just in his mind only.
Oh, sure.
So,
But I
yeah.
mean, I don't know what he's thinking.
Damn it, JC.
I mean, I have a good idea of what he's thinking, but
Yeah.
I don't hear him say it.
Thank you, everyone, again for joining us. And we will have our show next week on Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving.
Just
to
like the
talk
old
about that.
school Survivor Series used to be.
Oh my God, it was. I forgot
There
about
was
that.
a few years, yeah.
And which, by the way, that show will also be the anniversary of Mike's debut on the WrestleCast as well. He joined us the very first time we talked Survivor Series. So yeah,
That's true.
Meanwhile, I was single and had nothing else to do, so it's like, yeah, Tommy, want to come over? Sure.
And now look at you.
yeah.
Hey, I'm not complaining.
There you go.
Once again, over here we got Tommy,
Thanks, guys.
we got Mike,
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
and I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Too tired to
Boom.
throw a water bottle.
Adios, Gunther.
We'll see y'all next time.